So my day started with a tragedy, a horrible tragedy.
Oh
And
no.
all day I think I've been like super numb to it.
Why? What happened?
I'm gonna blame it on my tragedy. I
Noodles,
woke
did you
up.
do something?
It wasn't me. It was all her.
Well, damn, victim blaming.
Really? Really? I was gonna say.
No, it was all her. I've warned her before. So
Oh
So
God,
my
what?
day, I started my day all nice and tippy.
Tippy?
All
the
nice
birds
and
were chirping.
tippy. Yeah, the birds were singing, the dogs were barking,
The dog's always barking. That does not
the
count.
mice were doing the mice thing. No.
Oh God.
Anyways, and so, I came out here and I greeted Noodles and I'm like, hey Noodles, what's up? And I was gonna sit down and take, my first herbal hit,
Refreshment.
but I don't know why. Something in me told me, why don't you wash it? It looks very black. Like the water is already very black
Oh God.
and
And
I
to be
like
fair, like this strain was like dyeing the water. It was weird.
Oh,
yes,
I don't think we've
yes.
had a strain do that to us before, but yeah,
that sounds
I don't know what
nasty.
that's about.
Yeah.
It looked it, but we still
Yeah.
we knew that water was fresh.
So that's why I thought, okay, should I take a hit of this dirty water or should I go wash it? So I decided to do the right thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go wash it, which this should be a cautionary tale for everybody. I decided to do the right thing and go and wash it out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you remember. Okay, so like the piece that we have, it's a big one, right? Like it's a big one, and it was
She
a
said.
little, yeah, a little on the expensive side. Yes, that's what she said. Anyway,
That's what he said. On the expensive side.
so God.
Fuck, that was good.
And today's sort of fact is, no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, this piece, so it's the bong, and then it's where it holds the water, and then like I don't know, does it have an actual name? Noodles, like the piece that goes. It's
No,
hard to explain.
it needs the extra one because the entrance is too high.
Yeah, it's kind of like a straw, but of glass, obviously. And then in the end, there's another piece, which is where you pack. It's the bowl. It's where you pack the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have broken two bowls already, which is the little thing that actually holds the herbalicious remedicious. um, and I've broken two. I broke the original one, and then I broke the other one that Noodles graciously was like, here, I have another one. And then, so this is the third bowl, right? I'm like, okay, I need to, take care of it so it doesn't break. And Noodles had said to me, it's fine. I have several as long as you don't break the little glass straw. Like, it's fine, because those are a little bit like we would actually have to go to the store and get it. And I'm like, okay. So it's been fine. Actually, I haven't been cleaning them. It's been Noodles this whole time. And like I said, I decided to do the good thing today. So I'm washing it and we're talking and because you have to do like you have to put it in alcohol and salt and then you swish it all around. I'm over here dancing around with the little thing. Just kidding, I can't dance. But anyways, it was my hand was going all over the place. And so I'm like happy with the results, and so I'm starting to like I put the bowl to dry and so I get the glass straw and I washed it really well and I was so pleased. And as I go to place it I have like a towel on the counter where I'm putting them setting the things to dry. And so when I go to place it, the tip of the glass, just the tip, like banged, hit the counter, but like it barely tapped, and I just hear like a
Blast.
shatter, and I'm like, No. And I look, and sure enough, like the tip of it, but like you need that. Like that's you need actually.
That's the end that goes into the water, so yes.
Damn it. Okay, so we need
Ah,
that.
her little hope was dashed.
So I've been walking around all day with the cloud over my head. Like it's like the worst thing possible that could have happened. I mean, we have other dogs, but they're small and I don't like them, and I like my big one. So that's the tragedy of today.
It's been hard, you guys.
Hey y'all, so let's start it off. As always, this content is for entertainment purposes only. Our opinions expressed here is ours and ours alone. All right. Today's topic is friendly or not friendly, but parentheses, kid friendly or not kid friendly, right?
Mhm.
I got this idea because I was, strolling and doing my research on TikTok, and I came across this story about Huggy Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy. Okay. And supposedly, like, obviously, the TikTok was short, but it was just saying, it was warning parents about Hugsy Wugsy. Don't let your children watch it. It's geared for children, but it's not geared for children. This is what the TikTok was saying, okay? And they showed like a snippet of, I guess it's like a cartoon, and where it's saying, it sings a song, and in the song he's saying, I'm gonna hug you, I'm gonna love you, whatever, and I'm gonna squeeze, or until your head pops, or I'm gonna squeeze, I don't know, something, but like they end up alive the parents. And so I was like, huh? What? This is so crazy, because it reminded me of so many stories that, like, this isn't the first one that we've heard of. So here we are, right? So for those of you, I had to Google it because I had no idea who Hugsy Wugsy is, but I had to look it up. And it says here the story behind Huggy. Oh, it's Huggy Wuggy. It's not Hugsy, it's Huggy Wuggy. He was a kind and gentle man who loved children. However, he was involved in an accident at the factory that left him horribly disfigured. He was then transformed into Huggy Wuggy, a monstrous creature with a craving for human flesh. Huggy Wuggy was created by Playtime Company. So just hearing that alone, like just seeing that, I was like, oh my God, what the heck? And then, you know how they have like little like questions in this. Anyway, so somebody asked, is Huggy Wuggy for kids? And it's a horror, it says no, it's a horror game character from Poppy Playtime named Huggy Wuggy. It has been raising concerns amongst parents, police, and safeguarding professionals. Warning, this contains images and details some people may find disturbing, and this should not be shared with young children. So they have come out and said that it's not really for children. I mean, because I think it started off with a show, right?
No, it's actually a
I think it's a video game, isn't it?
video game, yeah. It's a horror
Uh-huh.
video game. And then throughout the game's release, they actually created like trailers for the
Mm-hmm.
characters.
Oh yeah, I think the one that I know kind of the most about is that weird spider pink lady.
Oh, is it Mommy Longlegs or something like that?
Oh yeah, her. She's creepy.
Yeah. So, Poppy Playtime Co. is basically like it's just what it is. It's a factory that creates toys for kids. But what people don't know is that in this toy factory, there's actually an orphanage. And throughout the years, some of the orphans would go missing. You come to find out that what they were doing is that some of the kids they were actually using for experiments. They wanted kids to be able to have toys that would last them a lifetime. And one of the ways that they thought that they can do this is by putting kids into these toys, thus making them living creatures.
Oh God.
And they tried to do it on some adults, but then the toys would turn around and tend to be very violent to the ones that were adults in these toys.
So, because I guess the fans, is it the fans? I think it's the fans who started doing cartoons.
Some of it is from them, others is actually from the creators of the game. Like they have a, I think there's a YouTube, they have a YouTube page up right now, and they tend to post like if there's trailers for that game or if they created like an actual like cartoonish looking ones, like they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they actually made some of the toys. I don't know if that's canon or
Mm-hmm.
not.
The thing is to me, right? I mean, clearly this isn't geared for children, right? Like even
Yeah.
because I don't know. I guess the game. I mean, there's warning of some. I'm
Hmm.
guessing,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow, again, children are getting a hold of this. And
Hmm.
I mean, enough for, like I said, I mean, people are starting to object to this. And on one hand, I'm thinking, and I've said this before, I mean, it's totally the parents' fault in this, in that scenario, because, hello, you should be monitoring what your kids are watching, what your kids are playing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But then on the other hand, I also think, like, maybe that was the intention anyway. Like, because, okay, why do this? It's going to attract a young audience. So are they doing it with that intention? Do you think that there's something behind that? Because that's one of the theories out there, that they're doing it to kind of like mess with kids' minds, kind of mind control and shit like that. Or do
Hmm.
you think it's just people who like, fuck it, it's just for adults, and if your kid gets a hold of it, well, that's your problem type of thing, you know?
Hmm.
I think especially like among young children, adults, and everything, like everything is spread through the word of mouth. And this also kind of reminds me with actually something that I was told, like an example of what happened to me in real life, something called Happy Tree Friends in middle school. Let me ask you, when I tell you guys this, what do you think? Like, what's the first image that pops into your head when you hear that?
That name, Happy Tree Friends,
Yes.
I mean, it makes me think of, for some reason, I think of like squirrels and bunnies and, you know, in the forest, and they have made a tree house and they're friends.
Okay. What about you, Noodles?
I know what it is, but the first thing that pops into my head is like the characters in the,
Okay,
yeah, like the
so
wooden creatures.
no, yeah. Honestly, like again, when a friend showed me this too, I thought like it's a kid thing. It's meant for like 10 and 5-year-olds. Me as a 13-year-old freaking thinking that. And
Yeah.
I was like, why do you want to show me a kid show? And they're like, trust me, you're gonna love it or not. I'm like, okay, fine, let me show it to me. And oh my god, it is not. It is anything but. Okay, so Happy Tree Friends, like Noodle says, like definitely around our time and age. It went around by everybody. You can even look it up on YouTube. There was no age restriction, nothing at the time too, so anybody could look it up. Oh my god, the first episode that they showed me of it. Like it first starts off like cute and cuddly. There's this pink squirrel who's a bit of a germaphobe. This ditzy moose guy and a few others. And this one episode, it had the squirrel, the moose, a bear who was a army vet, who's an army vet, and this porcupine. And oh my god. So first of all, the army vet guy, from what I understand, like he has come back from war, I guess like recently or something, and he has bad PTSD. Like any small little thing sets him off, and he goes on a violent rampage. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
holy shit. And I asked my friend, like, you could just look this up? Like, yeah. I want to say it was like one or two of my cousins wanted to show one of my other cousins, younger kids this, and I was like, please do not. You're gonna give them nightmares, and we're gonna get in trouble. And but no, yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like if you hear something that may sound like it's gonna be friendly, cute, or cuddly, or like not that bad. Honestly, I think it's the whole like you're right. I guess the parents do due diligence of like looking into it.
Okay, so this is So do you think that it is like the industry or like there's something behind it, or do you think it's the parents?
I think it's on both, honestly.
I think so too.
Because one, for the industry for not putting out warnings, because I agree. I think for Happy Tree Friends, it was on one of the, I think, was it Netflix? And it was under for the kids. But
Oh
because
yeah,
when you look at it, it looks like a happy little cartoon.
it does. It really, really
They don't
does.
Mm-hmm.
show the gore until you play the episode, and even then, like it takes a little bit before, but they get gruesome.
They do.
I've seen it, like
Mm-hmm.
it's terrible.
See, okay. So I'm a little bit divided. I'm divided with that, and I agree it's both because yes, whereas I do think that parents we have the obligation, to kind of be aware of what our kids are watching. But at the same time, look at the story that you just said. Like, even if I would have been monitoring what you guys were watching, which I mean, I was, we've talked about this,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but how is a parent supposed to prevent, like in this case, another child from showing it to you guys?
Mhm.
That's what's difficult about it. That's where I do think that, a big part of the blame and the burden falls to the companies that are doing this. Yes, like there should definitely be, it should not be filed under kids. For the game, I'm pretty sure that there is because, I mean,
No,
there
yeah,
is,
when you look at the
mhm,
game, you can right away tell it's a horror
yeah.
game. So
But what I can see here a lot happening, I mean, we go back to, hey, kids are going to get their hands on stuff like this regardless.
Mhm.
And so going back to that theory, are the companies or whatever's behind this, are they doing it on purpose? Knowing that it will get to kids.
Mhm.
Especially right now with the way social media is and the way everything is just going by so fast.
I can go ahead and list you because I have a list of a few things that were examples of stuff that looks like it was made for kids but aren't.
No, yeah, sure. You
Hmm.
go ahead.
So the first one up is I'm gonna say the name wrong. Crunker's Bad Fur Day. And this one, it's another video game, and it's about this bunny who gets drunk at a bar and accidentally takes the wrong turn when he's trying to go home, which he ends up waking up in this area that he doesn't know where he's at, so he goes on this wild adventure. But the characters he meets along the way aren't very kid friendly to see.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So that's an old game though. I don't have when it was made, but it's an older game. I also have, let's see, we do have Happy Tree Friends up on here. Oh, another
Okay.
one. This one is found on YouTube. It's Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh, I remember that one.
I don't remember seeing a lot of their videos, but the few that I did see were very unsettling.
There were.
Kind of think of like puppets that
Hmm.
are like that you see and they do little dances and sings and like it's a whole little group that they have.
That's horrible.
It
And
is.
do any of these have like warnings?
In the beginning,
Uh,
again, like how we said with Happy Tree Friends, don't hug me, I'm scared. I want to say in the first few episodes of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, they
yeah, I
don't.
think
I remember hearing one time that a child got like really traumatized and like kept crying a lot, and like they were destroying all their art stuff and everything, their crayons, their paints, their drawings, everything. And the parents couldn't figure out why. Took them to therapy. They told the therapist, and the therapist like looked it up and then told the parents like, yeah, this is what they watched. We need to get more deeper into this. And I want to say like the parents threatened to sue them. I'm not sure if they did go through it or not because I haven't heard anything further from that. But no, yeah, ever since then, like if I remember correctly, after that, like they started putting out warnings.
That's crazy.
And I have to say that one creeped me out more than Happy Tree Friends.
Was there more noodles?
let me see. Another one that's more recent is Sausage Party, but
Oh
that
Mm.
one
my
they did
God.
that. But that one I remember they did say it like even when you would buy the tickets, they had to tell you it's not meant for kids, but
Yeah.
they still had to sell you the ticket if you asked for it. But that was on a lot of parents, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that too, and I do remember thinking like if they tell you it's not for children, it's not for children, even if it looks like a cartoon, because that's the thing a lot of people think. That's why I also think about a lot of times the line gets blurred right there, like with cartoons or cartoon looking things specifically, because
Yeah.
again, everyone thinks like, oh, it looks innocent, it looks cute, it looks adorable, it has to be for a child. It's like, no, you gotta look more into it. Like if it says not for children, then it's not for children.
I
Hmm.
think a good rule of thumb as a parent would be to watch it first. I mean, I know with that movie, oh my God, and I am not a prude. Anybody that would get to know me will know that I am not a prude at all. But that movie, Sausage Party, oh my God. I mean, I remember halfway watching it, I was like, holy, what am I watching? Like, it makes you feel so uncomfortable. So, yeah, I think as a parent, you should watch it first. If you've heard, and again, it's not even hard right now to Google really quick, well, about this movie or about this show or about this game.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We go back to, people, we did it without that technology, but it's not that hard now to look up something really quick.
Yep.
But like I said, I mean, ultimately, I guess the burden does fall on the parent, but I don't think the parent would be at fault 100% because of this. Because you, as a parent, you're only in charge of your kids. I mean, it'd be great if, like, a society, we would all agree on certain things, but we can't do that, So
Mhm.
you can only kind of just monitor from your kids' point, but you can't also keep them in a bubble or not, that's,
I think just sitting down and talking to them and telling them like, hey, look, this is inappropriate for you right now, but maybe when you're older you can look at it. And at that point it's up to the kid to decide if they ever get presented it with it, like if they're gonna look or not.
hmm
Mhm.
The list goes on to name a few other cartoon shows that are aimed for adults and not kids. Some being like Big Mouth, Family Guy, South Park,
Oh my
American
God.
Dad.
I think the adult one cartoons are, again, because first of all, I remember those ones. Us growing up, they were literally aired at night by the time, like, again, a child was supposed to be asleep. It literally said, like, in the beginning of the intro, I think before they even started, said adult cartoon or adult content or cartoon
Yeah.
network, something like that.
Yeah, they
And
have to have those warnings.
no, yeah, they had those warnings early on.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, how growing up, for me, Gen X here, The Simpsons was the beginning for me. Like when I was a kid, The Simpsons were just coming out, and I remember the teachers were like horrified. Oh my God, they hated Bart because it was like the end of society. Of course, us, guess what? We embraced it because it's like, when they tell you no, it's like, no, I want to know what this is about.
No, yeah, it's like the whole
Um,
like don't look in the box, but it's like now I want to look in that box. Like what's in the box?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So of course, me as a kid, I could see that there were some things like I was like, like I knew that that wasn't real life. Like I wasn't gonna go and tell my mom, eat my shorts, man, because that was a big deal that everybody, oh my God, Bart was saying that. Yeah, yeah, it's so laughable now when I remember. But Bart Simpson saying, eat my shorts, man, was, oh my God, it was a big national thing. It was all over the news.
Really? Oh, that's hard to believe now.
Yes, yes. Anyways, but I mean, I wasn't gonna be stupid enough to say that to my mom. So,
No, yeah.
but then, now, when you guys were growing up, because then after The Simpsons, really, like right after it was South Park and then American Dad, like they started coming
Yeah.
on after that.
Yeah.
When I remember when I saw South Park, I was grossed out. Like I was turned off by it. I was just like, ew, this is gross. Okay, I don't like it. So then when you guys were little, because I didn't Like I didn't really like it. I didn't approve. I just really didn't think it was appropriate. So I didn't let you all watch it because of that until you guys got older. But I know that I would feel bad for y'all because I know that you had cousins. I know you had friends and you had cousins who would watch it. And sometimes I feel like they would use it to kind of like make fun of you guys because of that, like haha, or like it was that really happening or was that just in my mind?
Mm, I think the only one who ever really teased about us was uh
One of them.
huh?
One of them.
Yeah, only one of them. Like all the others would just pretty much tell us like, oh yeah, like it was funny, or like when we catch up, they'll want to talk to us about the episodes and tell us like which one we thought was the best.
And see, and so that's why I think, and so you guys really didn't watch, and we didn't watch any of those shows other than really The Simpsons and King of the Hill. But I never really watched South Park or American Dad and the Cleveland Show. Like, I never really watched any of those
Mhm.
until you guys were a little bit older, and then I felt bad. And I think I mean, because I've always sat down and talked to you guys about everything.
Right.
But I think I was like, fine, but you guys were already older. Yeah, you guys were definitely already in your teens when I was like, okay, I guess. But I know that even like your dad wouldn't like it, and your dad would just be like, what are you guys watching? Like, change it or whatever. But isn't it laughable even now? Because now, I mean, obviously, I mean, we'll watch South Park, and even though it's like, oh my God, that is so wrong, but I'm still gonna laugh because I have
Yep.
that kind of dark humor. But it's so crazy comparing even that to like the ones now, like that, like Huggy Wuggy and Tree Friends or whatever. I mean, even going back to when I was a kid, I'm trying to think what were one of the worst. I remember there was this one, oh no, but it was a movie. Have you guys ever heard of the Toxic Avenger?
No.
No.
I think he was like an like that, like an anti-hero type of thing. And I remember, I mean, that was a gross one. I mean, we had Garbage Pail Kids growing up. That became popular when I was a kid,
Oh, I
and
actually heard about those a little bit, but
those
didn't
were
catch up on again.
so gross, but also kind of cool to like see them. That was like the I don't remember parents really making a big deal about that, other than like teachers would just be like, "That's a good," or whatever. Beetlejuice, probably the cartoon Beetlejuice. I mean, because it kind of had some gross elements in it, but it wasn't, again, nothing compared to South Park. And then, but the ones now don't even compare to South Park. And that near.
Mhm.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, yeah.
You know, this might be, I don't know if this is still on topic, but I think yes. I'll tell you one of the movies that I regret to this day showing you guys because I want to think that you guys were maybe around 11 or 12. Actually, let me look it up. But you guys were around that age. And that movie is called The Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God.
And now thinking back, because I remember that I watched it first. I remember that your dad and I went to the theater and we watched it first. And this was around the time that we were very much involved in the church.
Mhm.
But because a lot of people in the news it had been reported that people had fainted, some people couldn't, you know. So we decided we're gonna go watch it first. And so we went. It was actually the adults in our little group. Do you guys remember that prayer group that we used to have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the adults, we went to go watch it first. And after we watched it, like the dumbasses that we are, we were like, nah, yeah, I think our kids could handle it. And so we showed it to you guys.
Oh
I don't know
God,
if
I
you guys
remember
remember
this. I
that.
do.
And we showed it all at the same, it was at our house and okay. And so I remember that all the kids like just started breaking down. You guys were breaking down.
Yes, the
And I
scenes, like, oh
think,
my God.
yeah, I
Like, all of
think
us
in that
started
moment,
crying. I just remember, like, it started off as one, and it just because of that, it was like a domino effect. Like, all of us just started just bawling our eyes out.
No, and it's because it's horrific.
It is.
Now, I mean, at that moment, I think that all the parents, because I know that me and one of the moms, that I was like closer to, I remember that later we were talking about it too, and we were like, what the hell were we thinking? Like, it didn't dawn on us again, and I apologize to you ladies for putting you guys through that because, yeah, I mean, and now, even now, thinking back to it, it's like I'm horrified. Like, what the heck? And everybody was doing it. Everybody was showing it to their kids because, it's a lesson and you obey. And we were told that, the suffering was because every time that it was, he was getting cut or, tortured, it was because of me. And we pass on that to our children. And so, but that movie, it had to have been rated R.
I want to say
Yeah, it's
back
rated
then.
R.
I
Yeah.
want to say now it was, but I want to say the beginning when I do remember like when you said you showed us because like no yeah for some reason like they didn't rated it at the time.
No, no, I think it was. But even at rated R, you know what I mean? Like you can still bring your kids even
Mhm.
at rated R if with a parent consent. And I think that because it was religion related, people were like, "Oh yeah, kids can watch this." But I regret that because I feel that was definitely mislabeled and then bad on us parents too. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Mhm. No yeah, and also like I think like if it's something that you want to judge whether or not this is good for your kid because like you also gotta imagine too like again like you said how you all said like at the time you all as a group thought it'd be fine because again you're all it was not just one opinion it was like it was everybody's like again
Yeah,
everyone thought like oh our kids can handle it
yeah.
and I don't know because I think that's kind of hard too because like
And in our defense, we were pretty young parents too. Like I was like in my early 20s, mid 20s, you guys. But I mean, yeah, I kids are gonna be exposed to shit like that, right? On the outside. So, I mean, yeah, I think again, we go back, I feel like part of the burden falls on the parents, but I think media and the creators also have to bear some of the burden for it.
hmm I think industries now especially in entertainment somewhat
Mhm.
shows and movies like that like I think they have gotten better now because like even on YouTube like again there's warnings they have a long waiting period to let you know that okay like to make sure you really are like meant to prepare to watch what you're about to watch.
Oh, I think it's worse though. I think it's gotten worse because kids nowadays, they are, I mean, oh my God, super smart. They know how to bypass a lot of that stuff. Or they'll have an older sibling that will do it for them. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like, I think that it's worse now.
No, I'm not saying like it's
Yeah.
gotten any better, but I'm saying like they've gotten like some industries have gotten like somewhat better at labeling them. Again, I'm not saying like it's gotten any better because like again like you said, some kids will find some ways to still watch it anyways. But like again, like they still
Yeah.
put up warnings on there anyways. Like there's still stuff that I've either want to watch or listen or something like that, and they'll still put up a warning. Me in my 20s still seeing all that, and I'm like, I don't need this. Like I'm obviously not a child, but again, it's like the algorithms, like it has to be on there anyways, like as a warning to cover themselves like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, just be vigilant, parents. Be vigilant on what your children are watching because nowadays it could have nice names like Happy Tree Friends or whatever and Huggy Wuggy, and we think that it's kid appropriate, kid friendly, but it really isn't.
No, yeah, or like sit them down, have that talk about like what's appropriate to watch and what isn't. Again, like it's awkward and everything, but like it's one of those things in life that you have to do eventually.
Yeah. All right, ladies, thank you so much. I'm Mita,
I'm Musica.
And I'm Noodles.
and we're bluntly talking. Bye.
Bye.
See you laters.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow us on our other social media.